Pues sí, chicos, se trató de un derbi que duró aproximadamente 70 minutos. It was a derby that lasted roughly 70 minutes. Highly entertaining, with good football from us, Atleti being Atleti, Real Madrid players fully switched on, and a buzzing Bernabéu, y un Bernabéu muy bullicioso, right behind the team. Great goals on both sides, but then, of course, he had to show up. That khaki figure in Spanish football, esa figura chulesca del fútbol español. That khaki figure, who always wants to be the main character in the movie, que siempre quiere ser el protagonista en las pelis. Sí, me refiero al trencilla. With roughly 20 minutes left, he ruined the derby. Se cargó el derby. Same old story. He pulls a red out of nowhere for Fede Valverde in a normal tackle and then twists the match report y luego manipula el acta to make it look worse. Luckily, the footage, las imágenes, the footage set the record straight and the ban was reduced to 1 game. Still too much, but anyway, lads, we all know how this goes. Muy buenas a todos, gente buena, buena gente, football geeks, frikis del fútbol, football geeks, and welcome to a new episode of Inglés para Vikingos. So welcome back to this rotten excuse of a league. Let's be real. Real Madrid fans still tune in, still locked in, just to watch our team, our boys, because we're hooked on football, porque nos engancha el fútbol. But don't call this a competition. Call it Javier Tebas' backyard, el jardín de Javier Tebas. Call it a farsa negrita wet dream. Just don't call it fair. A proper league has the same rules for everyone. Here, none of that. No justice, no financial fair play. VAR depends on the batch, except for one club, and we all know who. The rest, survive. Head down or get cooked. O te fríen, get cooked. Yellows, reds, pens, dodgy calls everywhere. And if you speak up, si lo denuncias, if you speak up, you're gone. So yeah, folks, it is what it is. Es lo que hay. And let's stick to facts, y vamos a ceñirnos a los datos. Not the biased mainstream media spin, y no a ese relato tan sesgado ni manipulado de los grandes medios. Which feels more like politics now, que más se parece a la política ahora mismo. I'm done with it, guys. No lo aguanto más, la verdad. You watch any post-match show, especially ref analysis, and there is not a single Real Madrid voice pushing back, como contrapunto, pushing back, same old panels, same anti-Real Madrid tone. So what you clearly see on the pitch gets twisted into something else, something totally different. And honestly, it gets to a point where it is just unwatchable, infumable, unwatchable. You switch it off. And then you've got these people all week shouting derby robbery, saying Fede should have been banned for ages. But are we being serious? It is just sad and truly disgusting y bastante repugnante, la verdad. But I'll tell you something. Real Madrid fans and anyone with a bit of common sense don't get fooled. We don't buy it. No nos lo tragamos. We don't buy it. Forget the band noise for a moment. I was there in the stands, guys. Yo estuve allí, en las gradas, chicos. The derby was just playing out. Se desarrollaba con total normalidad. It was just playing out with fair play, no drama, no complaints by the players. And then, out of nowhere, a standard challenge and a red card. The whole stadium freezes and everyone is like, what the heck just happened? And from that moment on, you know the script. Ya conocéis el guión. The machine kicks in, se pone en marcha, it kicks in. Same old show, same old crap. So the pundit panels kick off. Las tertulias de expertos, entre comillas, comienzan what I call the anti-Real Madrid witch hunt, el aquelarre antimadridista. Same story every time. This time they debate Valverde's red, whatever the topic. Same negative spin on Real Madrid, same poison. Ese mismo enfoque negativo siempre, ese mismo veneno. And there's barely ever a Real Madrid voice in the room to push back. No one say, hey, hang on a minute. We're missing the point here. We're taking extra bans for something that wasn't even a red. Vikingos, it's just one-sided from start to finish. And by the way, this same ref who sent off Valverde earlier this season saw a near-identical tackle from the team that paid 8.4 to the CDA VP. And guess what? Of course, it was just a yellow for Rafinha. A scissor from behind, una tijera por detrás. In football, that's a red, full stop. But what happened in the press? Just nothing. No noise, no outrage, no witch hunt, ningún aquelarre. And the moment you even hint it could be red, Oh, it's open to interpretation. Oh, not enough intensity. Same old script over and over again. Or simply they just bury it, quietly move on, problem gone. And that's the game, you know? They try to sell you black as white, tell you milk changes color depending on the cow. Honestly, are we really swallowing all this? My beloved Vikingos, my beloved followers, this is the kind of media landscape we're dealing with. Constant spin, constant whitewashing, constante blanqueo, whitewashing of the club that paid those millions to the CTA and nothing happened. That influence runs deep, and it is no coincidence the big outlets, los grandes medios, are full of voices pushing the same line. That's why nothing's happened. No real sanctions. And we do have a league still run by referees tied one way or another to that whole setup, a todo ese montaje. This whole setup, what the Judge Aguirre himself called systemic corruption. Which basically means that corruption is so embedded in the system, está tan incrustada en el sistema, tan embebida, that it becomes normal. We only need to take a look at the numbers for this season. Numbers you barely hear on the big radio shows. In the derby alone, we had 2 fouls, 1 yellow and 1 red. And it's the same story week in, week out. We make fewer fouls than our rivals and still see more cards. While rivals rack up 70-20, acumulan como de 17-20, rack up 70-20 and walk away with 2 yellows, maybe 3 if that. In the derby alone, they made 15 fouls on us and got 4 bookings. And overall this season, you can see the chart. We've got almost as many reds as the teams with the most, like Rayo or Oviedo, while others sit on just 2. Draw your own conclusions. Then we've had just 1 goal ruled out in our favor all season. Meanwhile, the ones running the system, 12. And nothing ever happens. But if you look at the VAR numbers, we've had just 3 in our favor, compared to 11 for the ones who paid millions to the referees committee. And remember, that money was withdrawn day by day in cash, within ATM limits, dentro de los límites del cajero, by someone close to the CTA VP. The Civil Guard, la Guardia Civil, found no major assets or investments o inversiones. So the question is simple, where did that money go? And yet, you won't see any real debates about that. The same shows that jump on every other controversy. Esos mismos aquelarres, esos mismos shows que hablan de cualquier polémica absurda. But if you keep zooming out, pero si sigues ampliando en los datos, this season says it all. 11 VAR calls against us. 11. Compared to 7 for the usual lot, and 6 for Atleti. Bottom line, we come out worse than our rivals in all aspects, and sometimes by a mile, as you've seen. The only thing we top? Penalties. Yeah, we're the most favored there. Favored entre comillas, but that's because pens are hard to mess up. VAR's all over it. If it is clear, they step in. No hiding. Refs know they're on the hook, que están bajo lupa, under the microscope. Mess it up twice in a game, you're getting a cooling off spell. Te llevas un neverazo. Even so, I could name a few clear pens for us this season that weren't given, not even checked. But on top of that, with Kylian and Vini up front, it had to go really wrong for us not to top that list, don't you think so? Anyway, lads, I don't want to burn myself out with this, but I can't stand injustice. You know my motto, don't give us anything, just don't take anything away. No quiero que me regalen, pero que no me quiten. And to be fair, folks, we're just tired of the constant agenda, the constant witch hunts, esos aquelarres diarios, trying to constantly drag our name through the mud, tratando de ensuciar constantemente nuestra imagen, drag our name through the mud while polishing the name of those who paid the referees committee for years. And again, my dear Vikingos, this isn't me as a Real Madrid fan. Just like the systemic corruption line came from Judge Aguirre, this one came from Severin himself, the UEFA's president. And still, as you can see, nothing happens. But if we strictly talk on the game, let's keep it simple, lads. We dominated 11 versus 11. Even at 0-0 at halftime, no Real Madrid fan was rattled. Estaba inquieto, rattled. First half, the ball just wouldn't drop for us. It was all about being more clinical, más efectivo. We were winning duels, moving it quick, winning it back fast, working the flanks, creating chances. Fede even hit the post. There was a clear game plan. Felt like recent derbies, we control it, deserve more, and somehow we end up paying for it. But this time we showed intensity and quality. Didn't sit back. We had them on the ropes at times, contra las cuerdas, on the ropes. We could have hurt more. But to be honest, they had their spells too. También tuvieron su tramito. Mostly when we were down to 10 players. And now I'd like to give some credit to our coach Arbeloa, who stuck to his guns, que fue fiel a sus principios. He stuck to his guns. I liked his consistency. Even with Jude and Kylian back, he trusted the academy lads and kept faith with the side that had delivered 4 straight wins, including 2 against City. For instance, Fran Garcia at left back because he's been playing well and deserved it. Remember that Carreras was on the bench. Then he kept Thiago next to Tchouaméni plus Güler and Fede Valverde. And he also kept Brahim, who's been fully revived, back to his best, with a massive work rate, up and down, con un trabajo incansable. A massive work rate, linking midfield and attack. And in this game, he even won the penalty with a great bit of play. He cracked it open when things were getting stuck, cuando parecía que estábamos totalmente atascados, and we just couldn't find the equalizer, y no podíamos conseguir el gol del empate, the equalizer. Ah, y a propósito, top penalty from Vini this time. Hit hard and clean, right into the corner. Fair play to him too. Takes real courage to step up again after that miss at the Bernabéu against City, the one that would have made it 4-0 and killed the tie, y matar la eliminatoria. And of course, after the equalizer, Vini was back to being Vini, doing his thing, and then bang, another one. An absolute screamer to seal the 3-2 win. Un golazo total para sellar la victoria por 3-2. And back his brace y conseguir su doblete. Back his brace. But before the winner, we've got to talk about Fede Valverde, ladies and gentlemen, because once again, he put the superhero cape on at the Bernabéu. And now he's added goals to his game. And not just any goals. Every single one is a banger. Es un puñetero golazo, un espectáculo de gol. He gets the whole stadium on its feet. This one with a high press, nicks it off the center backs, se la roba a los centrales. Fijaos otra forma de decir robar. Nicks it off the center backs, goes one-on-one, and coolly slots the ball across the keeper with the outside of his foot. And if we talk about Atletico de Madrid, they just did what they always do. Proper Cholo stuff. Compact, pragmatic, sitting deep, but fair play, they were ridiculously clinical. Fueron súper efectivos. Hardly creating anything, still back 2 screamers y metieron 2 golazos, la verdad. Molinas, he's not hitting that again in his life. Even his own teammates couldn't believe it. A 30-yard rocket. Top beans por toda la escuadra. Top beans. Nothing Lunin can do. So that was the equalizer, 2-2. Bernabeu goes quiet for a second. But good thing, pero menos mal, good thing we hit back straight away. Couple of minutes later, Vini makes it 3-2. Game sealed. Se acabó el partido. Game sealed. Then the red card. And honestly, the ref killed the derby right there, as I said before. No need to mention anything else. With 10 men, even with Kylian and Jude easing back in, integrándose poco a poco, easing back in, we took our foot off the gas. We dropped the tempo. We just sat back, managed the game, killed the rhythm, and football-wise, quiet. Job done. And by the way, this past weekend, City outplayed Arsenal 2-0. Pasó por encima del Arsenal por 2-0. They outplayed Arsenal in the Carabao Cup final, with basically the same starting 11 that faced us. So all that teams are in a bad moment when they play Real Madrid narrative, like so many others the media push against our team. Please, cut the crap. Venga, cortar el rollo ya. Cut the crap. Amigos, maybe it hasn't been our best season. Injuries everywhere. Patchy football, un fútbol muy cutre. At times really poor, below our level. Yeah, for sure. Manager Alonso gone mid-season. And the media stirring up noise, metiendo mucha caca, stirring up noise. But still, here we are. As always, quarterfinals. And now one of the toughest, most historic sides out there, Bayern de Múnich. 6-time European champs. A proper hard nut to crack. Un hueso muy duro de roer, la verdad. And now, queridos madridistas, all eyes on that Red Bayers clash on May 10, in their so-called revamped Camp Nou, en ese supuesto renovado Nou Camp. Yeah, revamped, so to speak, por así decirlo, so to speak. It is do or die. Es a cara de perro. Do or die. This one defines La Liga. If they win, they go 7 clear. It's done. We all know it. But if we win, we cut it to 1, then still wide open till the final stretch. And by the way, a revamped stadium, that's a nice one. Because in English, we don't just say renovated for everything. There is a whole squad of words for that, each one doing a different job. Bueno, para que lo entendáis mejor, it's like saying midfielder, yeah, but cross, Valverde, or Jude. Same label, completely different jobs. So let's apply these synonyms properly with Real Madrid examples. For instance, if we use renew, we could say, some players need to renew their contracts. Aquí no hay duda, ¿verdad? No doubt about it. If we talk about the medical team, for example, that doesn't need a tweak. It needs a full overhaul. Too many injuries, too many doubts. ¿Veis como ahí he utilizado la palabra overhaul porque overhaul significa una transformación total? Now one example with upgrade. The women's team needs to upgrade if they want to compete with the elite. Ese upgrade no hace falta que os lo explique, ya lo conocéis. Now an example with refurbish. The stadium is already top, but it still needs a few final touches. Maybe a bit of refurbishing in some areas to get everything perfect. ¿Veis claro el ejemplo de refurbish? Poner algunos muebles nuevos, mejorar un poquito la imagen interna, ajustar unas cuantas cositas, pero una vez que ya está mejorado. And if we talk about the squad, it doesn't need a rebuild, but it definitely needs a revamp in a couple of key positions. So we could say as a recap, we must renew the right players, overhaul the medical team, upgrade the women's side, finish refurbishing the stadium, and revamp the squad in the key positions. So this is my pick of the match for today. Lads, with this image, it says everything without saying a word. Just look at Tchouaméni's face, pure disbelief at that red for Fede Valverde. And he's right there, close enough to see exactly what we all saw on the pitch. So in a nutshell, plenty of reasons to be optimistic. Castilla lads stepping up, dando un paso al frente. They're stepping up. Experienced players coming back at the right time, and the team clicking as a unit. Now it's all about managing Kylian and Jude carefully, keeping them fit and blending them smartly with the players who have stepped up like Brahim and Thiago. Because what's coming after the Easter break? Those are the games that define the season. So I send you a big hug to all of you, my beloved Vikingos, and I'll see you right after the Easter break.